Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? This is BC. I know today is Thanksgiving. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. I wanted to come on and do a video. I like going live. I really enjoy this format, even more so than doing traditional videos. But I'm going to give it a second here to let some people join, and then we'll get started. And then I can handle some housekeeping items, and we can get straight into this. I named this one My Biggest Regrets. So this is going to be a juicier video. And I think it's going to be pretty funny too, right? So I'll give it a second here for some people to join, get the notification, and then we'll start. I have all this stuff in the description for those of you who do join here early on. Make sure that you check out the Real Estate Agagi. If you have any questions about real brokerage, make sure you hit me up and we can chat. Check out my website. Everything else will be in the description for you, right? All right. Let's start. What are some of my biggest regrets? Now, I wrote some stuff down because when I look at my life, right, there are a lot of great and poor decisions that I've made, and I think a lot of people have done that, right? And I'll jump around. I'll do some recent ones. I'll do some ones from my childhood, maybe, or when I was a teenager, maybe in college. So we're going to jump around. It's going to be in no particular order. One of them is this, right? One of the biggest regrets that I have is back in like 2019 and 2020 when I started getting censored as a producer, as a creator of content on my original YouTube channel. Like, if you guys didn't know, right, if you're watching this for the first time or you've only been following me for a year or two, I was deplatformed off Facebook, Instagram, right? Shadow banned. They demonetized my YouTube. Like, my first YouTube still has 200,000 subscribers. I hit that 4 or 5 years ago, right? And it was just exploding at the time. One of the biggest regrets that I have is not immediately putting money back into the platforms like Facebook and YouTube, right? Putting my pride to the side and understanding that these platforms are, the way to get the message out, and not just dumping a ton of money into the marketing and pushing my stuff. That's a big regret that I have because I was so against the machine. I was like, fuck the machine and this and that I let my pride get in the way, instead of just putting money down on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and pushing my stuff out, right? Which would have been the smart thing to do, or smarter thing to do. Because I do believe that truth is superior. Truth is what we need to align with and what we need to push, especially nowadays with the way the culture is going. However, there is, from a business standpoint, an adjustment that I could have made because, as you see, as a creator, it cripples you, right? Like, I have the reach now of somebody who's brand new, and I have all this fame and notoriety from years before. It kind of sucks and it's weird, but that's definitely a regret of mine, is I didn't turn around right away and flip the script on that and start putting money into the platform. So, because if people aren't really familiar, even if you're censored, if you put money behind the platforms, they'll still push your stuff. They don't care. So it's not even a principle thing where they don't agree with you and they're going to not put you out. If you start putting money behind your videos and your ads, they'll show it to people. So even though they claim that you're dangerous and blah, 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 whatever they say about you, if you put money behind it, they'll push your ad, right? It's money driven. That's all it is. Okay. What are some other things I wrote down? The second one would be, I'm going to give you specific examples. Shitty financial decisions, man. If you guys remember when I got on YouTube a long time ago, about 10 years ago now, one of the first things I did early on, I was about 3 or 4 months into the real estate business. I bought myself that Audi A4 S line, super nice. I mean, just one of the cars of my dreams at the time. It was manual. I loved it. But damn, that was a shitty decision, right? I had just kind of got back on my feet, right? Been able to pay some money to people that I owed from, my past, right? And help people out with money as well, which is a burden that I'm going to talk about later. Reacclimated into a new place, got myself an apartment, right? Getting myself back on my feet after my failed athletic career. And I'm laying the foundation for it. And of course, I let my emotions and I let that part get the best of me. And I end up buying that fucking car, right? Which, again, from a building my credit standpoint was fantastic, but from a financial standpoint was stupid. I leased that car. I think my payments were like $400 or $500. I mean, it was idiotic, right? I didn't have bad credit. I just had virgin credit. Didn't get a cosigner, right? Interest rate was like 7-8%. It was kind of high. And it was just a really shitty decision. Now, was it cool? Did it motivate me? Of course. But from a strictly number standpoint, financial standpoint, it was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. I should not have done it. Very, very bad decision. Now, I've had many poor financial decisions, especially when I was younger. When I was younger, I ran up my credit cards. I did a ton of dumb stuff, like a lot. But that was one when I was starting to get into the public eye that was just horrible, and I should not have done that, right? So I would recommend to you, and this was always my rule of thumb when it comes to vehicles. I always made sure from that moment on, because I learned my lesson financially. I said, I never want my car payments, if it's more than one, it doesn't matter. I don't want my car payments and insurance to be higher than 10% of my monthly income. So if I make 10 grand a month, my car payments and insurance and all that stuff monthly cannot exceed $1,000 a month. That was my limit. Now, did I get that from a book? No, I just created that myself, and I thought it was a good guideline, because a lot of people nowadays, between their rent and their car, they're at 80-90% of their monthly income, and that's just stupid, and that's a recipe for disaster. Okay, so that definitely was a poor decision. Number 3, biggest regrets that I have in life: being too nice. Man, I've let people stay with me for free, live with me for free, rent free for a year, 2 years. I've given people tens of thousands of dollars when I probably shouldn't have. Right? Like I am too nice, and I'm saying that to you guys because being too nice is a weakness. Now, for the most part, I've eradicated that out of my system. But when I look back on all those decisions from this perspective, all of them were mistakes. I should not have let people stay with me for free, rent free. I should not have given people $500, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, and all these things. Why? From being too nice. Because one of the dynamics that people fail to realize, especially with this type of stuff, is when you make something easy for somebody, they're naturally going to take the easy route, and they're not going to push to their potential. So when I let somebody stay with me for free, it doesn't incentivize them working more, even though you think that. It makes them lazier. Because, of course, in the beginning, you give people money, you let them live with you, whatever, all these opportunities, right? Initially, they're thankful and they love it. But when you look at the long-term effects of it, it's not good. It's actually detrimental to them and their growth. It's almost relatable to like some of you when you become an entrepreneur. You don't have a fixed schedule, right? So what does everybody in your life do? They expect you to run errands for them. Well, you're not on the clock. Can you do this for me? It's like, no, dude, that's a lack of respect of my schedule. But they'll tell you they appreciate it. But the fact that they're asking you and telling you to take time away from your day to go take them somewhere means they really don't respect what you're doing. If not, they would let you work, and then in your off time or in your break, they would ask you to do it, right? Not the same, but similar in a sense that being too nice and too accommodating to people is a recipe for disaster. Now, it was more for me financial than it was like in everyday life. Like I don't let people step all over me. I don't let people disrespect me and all that. But it's still under that same umbrella of being too nice. You don't want to do it, right? Another regret. I remember a girl in middle school, Laura was her name. Man, everybody liked her. Hottest chick in school. I was such a pussy when it came to her, man. God, that is a big regret of mine. I didn't just go for it, right? For sure. That was like 7th, 8th grade. Stupid. And some people that follow me from back in the day might even remember her because I still have my friends from middle school here. Stupid, dude. Why would I be around the bush and not just go for the kill, right? You know, ask her out and all that stuff. And this is like probably 11, 12 years old, whatever it is, before I really stepped into my manhood. Sad, man. But that's a regret of mine, right? When I look back, I didn't perform how I should have performed, because in other aspects of my life, like basketball and athletics, I was the captain. I was go-to. I was boom, 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 boom. Right? I was really just going after it. But in this realm, for whatever reason, I crippled myself. It just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. Same thing with basketball, man. I held back in basketball too. That's one of my biggest regrets as well. Right? I did a lot. Right? I played in, the Drew League. I've done a lot of summer leagues, training camps. Like I've done a lot of stuff at the pro level, the amateur level in basketball, years ago when I was still playing, 11, 12 years ago up until maybe 20 years ago. And there was a lot of opportunities that I didn't seize, like maybe going to that one open run because I was tired or something like that. When I look back, I bitched out, right? Even though I still took advantage of probably the lion's share of the opportunities, there was a few in there that I didn't go, and I made excuses. I'm tired. I already worked out. I've been playing fucking 10 days in a row. I need rest, right? And I made all these excuses when looking back. Maybe that would have been the one ticket that would have gotten me farther. I might have met that one person or balled out and done really well, and that one coach or one agent would have seen me, right? Why didn't I do that? And looking back, mentally, I wasn't where I'm at now back then. On the court, different story. You weren't going to stop me. I was a warrior. But sometimes in the background, there was Looking back, I regret not having capitalized on every single opportunity, capitalized on most of them, but not all of them. And most is not all, right? 90% doesn't count. 95% doesn't count. 80% doesn't count. It's got to be fucking 100, man. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time and wasting your potential. What's the point, right? Another one would be lying, right? Dude, I've had little jobs where I've stolen little things back in the day. That's definitely a regret because it's stupid. I mean, trivial stuff, right? Like things that are $5, $10, right? And then lying to people. Why? Because you want to save face. You want to look better. You want to say that you talked to the girl and she said yes, but she said no. All the little white lies when I was younger, for sure. Stupid. Why? It's dumb. It's accepted in our society, but it's absolute nonsense. And then it's just a slippery slope. Luckily, I caught it early on and stopped it. But I regret doing all that stuff too. Little dumb shit. Like when I was a kid, fucking even doing like graffiti and that dumb shit. None of you would expect me to do that type of shit. But I did all that dumb shit, man. Fucking running from cops and doing a bunch of dumb shit like that. Like when you're a little kid, for sure. We did all that. Stupid. But we were instigating by doing that. We weren't fucking, mass murderers escaping from the fucking police and doing like, we purposely did that shit. We would, back in the day, park outside of the liquor store because our friend is going to go by, when we're like 20 or 21 or whatever it is, right? And then we get mad that the cops pull up on us and they're like, well, what the fuck are you guys doing here? You're all like 18 or 17 and you're fucking parked outside of a liquor store. Yeah, we could be mad at them for sweating us in that moment when we're not doing anything, but can you really be mad for them suspecting that we're doing something when we put ourselves there, right? Think of all the times that we put ourselves in these dumbass situations and get upset when something bad happens. You're instigating. I definitely regret that. That's stupid. That's stupid. And it was always in moments where I would slip. It's always in moments where I would slip because normally I was 100% focused on my athletic career and doing what I was doing and straight edge and all that. But you have these little moments of weakness, and all it could take sometimes is one moment, one bad decision of being dumb, and it affects you for the rest of your life. Like even growing up, I was never like a drinker or smoker anyway. And now I pretty much never do it. I'll do it like once every 2 years. If a business partner of mine or a friend's like, yeah, I just made $1 million on this deal. Let's celebrate. Okay, yeah, I'll have a fucking beer with you, right? Aside from situations like that, I never drink. I never smoke. And even when I was younger, I never did it because I was so focused on the sport. But every once in a while, I'd slip up and have a drink or whatever. And because I never drank, right, I would fucking drink 2 or 3 fucking drinks and then throw up because I wouldn't eat. But I can't be mad at anybody but myself. That's definitely a regret. It's dumb. But think about all the situations where you put yourself in a situation where potentially you can get in trouble, then you get in trouble, and then you point the finger. Because that's what I did. That's what most people do. It's stupid. Dude, you put yourself there. You went to the party underage drinking. Yeah, the cops showed up and maybe they were assholes to you, but you put yourself there, dude. Can you really be mad at them? No, you can't, because you shouldn't have been there, right? It's like when people would ditch school. You can't get mad, right? It's nuts, man. Another regret I have is not moving out of California sooner. Man, the world is a beautiful place, right? But what do? We make up excuses, right? Is it easy to move somewhere? No, because you have to start over again, right? Especially if you don't have family, you got a new social circle, new job, right? New atmosphere, new environment, new customs, different cultures, probably depending on where you go, right? But again, you're doing it for you. You desire to do it. Why wouldn't you move? This whole, well, I'm proud of where I'm from. That's cool. But are you saying that like wholeheartedly? What are you proud about? That you just grew up on block A or whatever, right? Like, is there any actual depth to that? Or are you just saying it because you think you're a fucking macho and you're putting your fucking chest out? Is that just like another saying that you say, or is that true? Because the people who tell me the stories of the families being there for generations and they love it, cool, that's different. But most people, it's just a bravado. Oh, well, yeah. Just like this other thing where it's cool to like say where you're from and you always want to make it sound more ghetto. Why? Why is that a cool thing? I regret doing that dumb shit when I was a kid too. Why? That's so dumb. Why the fuck do we do that? Because the people who grew up with no money and didn't want it, wanted fucking to be in a better neighborhood, in a better place. We all did. I didn't grow up with fucking money either. I was born in fucking Huntington Park, California. You know where that is. Look it up on the fucking map. So I regret doing that dumb shit too. It's stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. So looking back now as an older adult, I can say, okay, because you always hear that, well, you shouldn't have any regrets. Well, of course, dude. Of course you're gonna have them. We are not perfect. Having no regrets would assume that like every decision was perfect. Same thing even when I was younger, man, like going after the entrepreneurial stuff. And like before I got into real estate 10 years ago and really went at it, I kind of hesitated before that to do my own entrepreneurial stuff. And I had friends that did it, but for whatever reason, I hesitated. Fuck. I regret that too. Stupid. Dumb. Same thing with like kind of pushing away like self-education, right? I pushed that away a lot until 10 years ago. Stupid. That's definitely a regret. That's definitely a fucking regret of mine, man. Looking back on it, foolish. Why? You want to play the tough guy. I don't need to read. That's stupid. That's for girls, journaling. You make up all this dumb shit that when you stop and think about it, it makes no sense. You do it for validation. You do it so other people clap for you or like, oh, he's cool. Oh, he's tough. But you're not. You're a mess. It's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Another regret that I have is since I was younger, right? I always questioned a lot of things. The world, religion, our lifestyles and diets as human beings, but I didn't do shit about it until I got on this journey about 10 years ago in my late 20s. That's definitely a regret. I should have dove deeper into those paths when I was younger, for sure. Because, had I started evolving sooner with some of the things that I'm doing now the last 10 years when I was a kid, fuck, I'd be Super Saiyan by now probably. Even though I don't know what that really means because I never watched the Dragon Ball Z stuff. I see people make those references all the time, right? It's nuts, man. It's nuts. So, long story short, right? Well, why would you make this video, Brian? To show you I'm no different than you, dude. We're all the fucking same. It's just I've elevated my position in the world in these different areas because I put in the work and I've done what we need to do. But I come from the same places and beliefs and philosophies as you. I just decided to fucking do something about it. And I'm not afraid to come on here and I'm preaching this to the world going live and I'll never delete this video, what some of my shortcomings are. I have no problem with doing that. And that's a part of self-awareness, right? And the development of self. To be enlightened enough to say, I fucked up or I'm stupid here, or I did this mistake. Let people laugh at you and judge you for it, and you still don't give a shit. The moment you can step into that and learn that and cultivate that more, which I love teaching to people, I really do, especially the closer students. Now achieving things, growing, developing becomes just human nature because that's what it is. We're wired to do that. Somewhere along the way, we were suppressed and we got away from that. But as an adult, it's your responsibility to get back to that we can say raw material of the human being, which is built to progress and grow and develop and seek more, right? And be fulfilled. Not the current state of society where most people are dumb and confused and fighting with each other and miserable and depressed and, mental health. Like, that's not normal. That's not normal. But it's your responsibility, regardless of how the society is or what your conditions are, to get out of it if you so desire a better life. And then you do whatever it takes to get there, because that's all I did. I went after something and I didn't stop. I want to be a better communicator. I want to dress better, right? I want to start a business. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to make more money. And I went after it until I fucking achieved those things. Right? And that decision is what led to figuring everything out. But the decision has to come with a commitment behind it. A lot of people claim they make decisions, but they don't, right? They don't do it, right? Let's see. Craig, what's up, bro? So what about not cutting family members off soon enough? Oh, yeah, that's a big one for sure. But I did that pretty quickly, so I can't say that's a regret because I definitely did that very quickly. But yeah, like you got to cut people off, man. It's your life. It's your life, 100%. Can you speak a little bit about your thoughts on higher education versus apprenticeships? Yeah. Like the whole, I got a diploma, all that shit is worthless for the most part, unless you're going for a specific career, Pepe. Like, oh, I want to be a lawyer, a doctor, where you need a certain level of that higher education and you have to follow that path, or an engineer or whatever, then yeah, do that because it's a requirement, right? But because what do people say? Well, I went to get a job, but they want real work experience. I just been in school. Exactly. They want real experience, which is why me teaching communication, having knocked on 100,000 plus residential doors and business doors and made hundreds of thousands of phone calls, I can teach you much more about communication, not even including my self-education on the subjects, but I can teach you more than any fucking university degree you're ever going to get on actual communication, human-to-human relation, because of my experience. So the apprenticeship and mentorship and coaching, infinitely more valuable than the other stuff, unless you fall into the categories of, again, engineer, doctor, lawyer, or something specific where you have to follow that prescribed path to reach that career. In that case, go for that. But you should still self-educate and get coaching and certifications and all that stuff, but like actual ones. That's much more practical in the real world, especially as an entrepreneur. You need those real skills and that time in the field, right? And a lot of people think they can circumvent that now with social media. Well, I can just make these videos and dance and I'm going to get business. No, you're not, dude. You're not. I'm sorry. And even if people come knocking on your door, the moment they talk to you, they're going to be like, this guy's an idiot. I'm going somewhere else, because you don't have the skill. Nor do you have the business, the systems, and the foundational traditional things that you need to run an actual legitimate business. Everyone, oh, I'm a business owner, I'm a boss. It's like, dude, I asked the guy the other day, I was like, oh, because he was really ranting and raving. I said, how many people do you employ? And he said 0. I said, well, there you go. I employed more before, but I still have employees now. I run businesses. It's different, right? It's different. Because when you run a business and you have an operation, you now provide an opportunity for other people, right? I employ people at many levels. They work for me. I pay them, right? They have opportunities that unless they were with me, they wouldn't have that opportunity, right? That's business. People look and they're like, oh man, this person must just be another influencer or something like that. Like I saw a comment like that on one of my reels because maybe they were new to my second channel and they don't know about my past. Oh, here's another guy claiming he knows business. It's like, dude, I own businesses. I know business. I'm not just coming on here as another influencer, right? Cool. Okay, guys, enjoy today. I would recommend that you eat healthy because I know most of you aren't. But yeah, we're going to be going live more. And I enjoyed this format tremendously. And keep a lookout because pretty soon I'm going to make the official announcement when I do the actual show, which will probably be 2 or 3 nights a week. All right. Peace out.